Sure. Here's a detailed exploration of 15 mind-blowing, lesser-known facts about Liberia. This will focus on different aspects of the country, with the first 5 points highlighting gender-related facts, and the remaining 10 diving into various other interesting topics. Gender-related facts, first 5 points. 1. Liberia was the first African country to elect a female president. In 2005, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf became the first female head of state in Africa. She was elected president of Liberia after a hard-fought battle in the post-Civil War era. Sirleaf's rise to power was historic not only for Liberia, but for the African continent as a whole. Her election marked a significant step in gender equality and women's political participation in Africa. Sirleaf's presidency was a turning point for Liberian women, as she demonstrated that women could lead a country through periods of reconstruction and healing. Her leadership served as an inspiration for other African nations to follow suit, and her tenure remains a proud chapter in Liberia's history. 2. Women's rights movement in Liberia. Women in Liberia have long been at the forefront of social and political movements. The women's movement for peace played a significant role in ending Liberia's devastating civil war. Led by figures like Lema Gibewe, women organized peace marches, negotiated with warlords, and even staged a sex strike to pressure combatants to end the violence. Their efforts culminated in the 2003 peace agreement that ended the 14-year-long civil war. The powerful role of women in these peace efforts was not only a remarkable achievement in Liberia's history, but also inspired a global conversation about women's agency in peacebuilding. 3. Liberia's female soldiers and police officers. While many countries struggle with the integration of women into their armed forces and law enforcement, Liberia has made significant strides in this regard. After the Civil War, Liberia focused on rebuilding and reforming its military and police forces, with a strong emphasis on gender inclusion. The armed forces of Liberia now have women serving in various capacities, from combat roles to peacekeeping positions. The Liberia National Police also has a growing number of female officers. These women are not only challenging traditional gender norms, but are actively involved in the country's ongoing peace and security efforts. 4. The role of women in agriculture. In Liberia, women are the backbone of the agricultural sector. They play a crucial role in farming, especially in the production of subsistence crops like rice, cassava, and vegetables. Women dominate the small-scale agricultural industry, where they are often responsible for planting, weeding, and harvesting. Despite their significant contributions to the agricultural economy, women in rural Liberia face challenges such as limited access to land, financing, and training. However, efforts are being made by various organizations to empower these women with the tools they need to enhance productivity and improve their livelihoods. This has become a focal point of Liberia's development strategy. 5. Liberian women's educational opportunities and challenges. Although education for women has improved in Liberia since the end of the Civil War, there are still considerable barriers that women face in accessing quality education. Cultural norms, early marriage, and the financial burden on families are some of the factors that impede the education of girls and young women. However, there are also significant efforts being made to address these challenges. In 2014, Liberia launched the National Policy on Girls' Education, which aims to eliminate barriers to girls' education and encourage more girls to attend school. Despite these efforts, gender disparities in education remain a challenge, and the country continues to work on promoting gender equality in schools. Unflating facts. 6. Liberia was founded by freed slaves. Liberia's history is deeply intertwined with the American colonization efforts in the early 19th century. Liberia was founded by the American Colonization Society in 1822 as a colony for freed African Americans and formerly enslaved people. These settlers, known as Americo-Liberians, established a republic that declared its independence in 1847, making it the first republic in Africa. The legacy of this colonization is still felt today in Liberia, as the Americo-Liberian descendants make up a significant portion of the population, while the indigenous tribes were historically marginalized. 7. the only country in the world named after a president. Liberia is the only country in the world named after a president. Liberia's name is derived from the Latin word liber, meaning free. The country's name was chosen to reflect its founding purpose as a haven for freed African Americans. The American Colonization Society, which facilitated the establishment of Liberia, wanted to create a society where free African Americans could live in a land that symbolized freedom and liberty. This historical fact makes Liberia's name not only unique, but also a symbol of liberation. 8. Liberian Civil War and its impact. Liberia's 14-year civil war, which lasted from 1989 to 2003, was one of the most devastating conflicts in modern African history. The war led to the deaths of an estimated 250,000 people and displaced over half of the population. Children were recruited into militias, and human rights violations were rampant. The war left deep scars on the national psyche, and the country continues to grapple with its legacy. Efforts toward reconciliation and national healing have been ongoing, with the establishment of Truth and Reconciliation Commissions, although challenges remain. 9. Liberia has one of the world's most unique flag designs. Liberia's flag is unique in that it closely resembles the flag of the United States, which is no coincidence. Liberia's founders, many of whom were formerly enslaved African Americans, intentionally designed the flag to resemble that of the U.S., as a symbol of their shared ideals of freedom and democracy. The flag has 11 stripes, representing the 11 signatories of Liberia's Declaration of Independence, and a single star in the canton, which symbolizes Liberia's status as the first independent republic in Africa. This symbolic connection to the United States is an important part of Liberia's identity. 10. The country has over 16 ethnic groups. Liberia is home to a rich tapestry of ethnic groups, with over 16 distinct groups inhabiting the country. Some of the largest include the Kapele, Bassa, Gribo, and Lorma people. These groups have their own languages, traditions, and customs. Despite the diversity, Liberians generally identify as one people, and there is a strong sense of national unity. However, ethnic divisions have occasionally led to tensions, especially during times of political strife, as evidenced by the Civil War. The country's rich cultural heritage is celebrated in festivals, music, dance, and art. 11. Liberia's rich natural resources. Liberia is endowed with an abundance of natural resources, including gold, diamonds, iron ore, and timber. Its vast rainforests are home to a variety of wildlife, some of which are found nowhere else in the world. The country also has significant mineral resources, which have attracted foreign investments and contributed to its economic growth. However, the exploitation of these resources has often been marred by corruption, mismanagement, and environmental degradation. The government continues to struggle with balancing the benefits of resource extraction with the need for sustainable development. 12. Liberia's national cuisine is a reflection of its cultural diversity. Liberian cuisine reflects the country's diverse ethnic makeup and is based on locally sourced ingredients, such as rice, cassava, and plantains. One of the most iconic dishes is jollof rice, a rich and flavorful rice dish cooked with tomatoes, onions, and spices. Other popular foods include fried plantains, fufu, a starchy dish made from cassava, and palava sauce, a vegetable stew. The country's food culture is also influenced by American, European, and other African culinary traditions. 13. The largest rubber plantation in the world is in Liberia. Liberia is home to the largest rubber plantation in the world, the Firestone Plantation, which covers over 200,000 acres. Firestone Natural Rubber Company, a subsidiary of the US-based Bridgestone, established the plantation in 1926. It has played a central role in Liberia's economy, contributing to both employment and exports. However, there have been criticisms regarding labor conditions on the plantation and the environmental impact of large-scale monoculture rubber farming. 14. Liberia's official language is English, but many indigenous languages are spoken. Despite being founded by English-speaking settlers, Liberia's official language is English. However, the majority of Liberians speak a variety of indigenous languages, such as Kapel, Bassa, and Grebo, in their daily lives. Additionally, Liberian English, or Liberian Pidgin English, is widely spoken across the country and is often used in informal contexts. The coexistence of these languages is an essential part of Liberia's cultural fabric. 15. Liberia is home to a rich legacy of music and dance. Music and dance are deeply ingrained in Liberian culture. Traditional music is often accompanied by drumming and other instruments, and it plays an essential role in ceremonies, festivals, and social gatherings. The influence of African rhythms can be seen in Liberia's music scene, particularly in genres like highlife, hipco, and Afrobeat. Many young Liberians are also involved in the country's burgeoning hip-hop scene, blending global influences with local traditions. These facts offer a window into Liberia's complex, diverse, and fascinating history, culture, and social dynamics. From groundbreaking achievements in women's rights to the country's unique colonial roots, Liberia's story is one of resilience, transformation, and cultural richness. Here are 5 more unknown and mind-blowing facts about Liberia, covering its history, geography, culture, and economy in great detail. 16. Liberia is one of the only 3 countries in the world that uses the imperial system. Most countries around the world use the metric system for measurement, but Liberia is one of the only 3 nations that still use the imperial system, along with the United States and Myanmar. This means that in Liberia, distances are measured in miles, weight in pounds, and temperature in Fahrenheit, rather than kilometers, kilograms, or Celsius, as used in most of the world. This unique feature stems from Liberia's historical ties with the United States. The country was founded by freed African Americans in the 19th century, and many of its systems, including governance, currency, and education, were modeled after the US. Despite global efforts to promote the metric system for standardization, Liberia has not fully transitioned, leading to occasional confusion in international trade and scientific research. However, there have been discussions about switching to the metric system, especially to align with its West African neighbors, all of whom use the metric system. 17. Liberia has one of the oldest universities in Africa. The University of Liberia, UL, founded in 1862, is one of the oldest institutions of higher education in Africa. Established by the Liberian government, the university was created to educate the descendants of freed African Americans who had settled in Liberia. The institution became a leading center for learning in West Africa, attracting students from across the region. However, Liberia's long civil wars, 1989 to 2003, devastated its education system, including UL. Many of its buildings were destroyed, and the university faced years of instability, lack of funding, and brain drain, as many of its best professors fled the country. Despite these challenges, the university remains a prestigious institution in Liberia. UL has produced some of Liberia's most influential leaders, including former presidents, top government officials, and business executives. It has multiple campuses, with a main campus located in the capital, Monrovia. Today, the university is rebuilding, with support from international organizations working to improve its infrastructure and quality of education. 18. Liberia has one of Africa's most mysterious and isolated tribes, the Gola people. Among Liberia's 16 major ethnic groups, the Gola people are one of the most mysterious and least understood. The Gola are an indigenous group that inhabits the dense rainforests of western Liberia, near the border with Sierra Leone. Unlike other groups in Liberia, the Gola have maintained many of their traditional customs, language, and ways of life, resisting outside influences for centuries. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Gola is their unique spiritual and governance system. The Gola believe in powerful forest spirits and practice secretive rituals that outsiders rarely witness. Their society is highly structured, with elders and religious leaders playing a dominant role in decision-making. The Gola language, which is distinct from the more widely spoken K-Pele and Bassa languages in Liberia, is believed to be one of the oldest indigenous languages in West Africa. Efforts are being made to document and preserve the language as younger generations increasingly adopt English or other local dialects. Additionally, the Gola Forest, where the tribe resides, is one of the most important ecological hotspots in West Africa.